There you go.
Hi.
Perfect. Kathleen, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing fantastic. I mean, what better way, start a great weekend with a great guest.
Well, thank you.
It's super easy, right? So welcome to the show. It is so cool to have you here. Right. So before we start, I have to give you a proper welcome. If you have seen some of my episodes before, you know exactly what is about to come. If not, let me show you.
Oh boy.
Yeah, epic, right? Super epic.
Yeah.
Right? Super awesome. I know. Super easy. I tried once to set this as my alarm. It didn't work out. I woke up like super freaked out. Like, what is going on?
That would be a little unnerving in the morning. For sure.
Yeah. It's great. But anyway, so welcome to the show. It is so cool to have you here. So starting with everything now, tell me how your dancing career started.
So I started dancing when I was 4. I was living in Ohio, and I believe the story goes that my mom took me to dance classes because she wanted me to grow up and have great British royalty posture. And I don't think she anticipated that I would actually continue to dance for the remainder of my life. But now we're here. So I danced all through high school in Ohio, and then at 17, I went to full-time ballet school in New York, got my degree in ballet, and then I've lived in San Francisco, and then now New York, where I've been dancing.
I love that. And at first, like when you were recently started, what kept you going?
I don't really know. I think a large part of it has just been there's always something new to uncover. Curiosity has always kind of been the driving force behind me sticking with dance. There's always something new to learn, something new to discover, and it's never really been like a question in my mind, oh, did I want to do this? I grew up doing this, and it's the language I know. It's how I know how to express myself, how I know to interact with the universe.
I love it. And what were some of the challenges that you had first? Because I think it all happens. I mean, it happens to all of us, right? And whenever we're starting something, we just don't know what the hell we're doing.
Yeah. So many things. It's never been easy. I think like the first big challenges in my life were in my dance career were definitely injuries, for sure. I think the first time I was seriously injured was around 12, and that put me for about 6-7 months. And it was really a long time to recover. So I think that would be kind of the first thing that comes to mind that made me really stop and say, okay, wait, is this for me? And then, the other stuff would be just stuff that you encounter in any career, rejection. Am I going to be successful at this? And then I guess the other big challenge that I think isn't unique to ballet, but I think something that a lot of ballet dancers will resonate with is just giving. There was a lot of giving up in order to make this such a big part of my life as a child, both in terms of like extracurriculars and just friendships. Like this had to be everything for me from a very early age. And I don't think that's necessarily how it has to be, but that's at least the idea I had in my head at that time.
I love it. I love that too. I mean, that's +2 badass here. But tell me, how you usually prepare before a dancing performance?
Before a dancing performance? Well, it really depends on what kind of show it is. I do a lot of work that's more classical ballet, and then a lot of work that's not. But I think in general, I like to have a ballet bar, which is the beginning of a ballet class, just to get, even if it's not necessarily the type of work I'm doing, just to get myself in the headspace for dance. When it happens, putting on makeup is kind of part of the stepping into performance mode. And then, growing up, I ate Twizzlers backstage at the Nutcracker. We did the Nutcracker every year. And I just, every time I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do the show, if I have a Twizzler, like immediately the flavor's like, okay, I'm back in my performance mode. Just
okay, good to know.
I get the sugar high.
I love it. Good to know. Then if at some point I get the chance to go on one of your performances, I will make sure to bring up this huge bag of Twizzlers. Okay, count that.
I appreciate that.
There we go. I mean, who cares about flowers, right? We want Twizzlers here.
Yeah.
Okay. And like in general, where does your inspiration for dancing come from?
There's so many things. I mean, what other artists are doing, music, what I'm reading. I would say I teach a lot now, and I think my students are always a big inspiration to me. I learn a lot from watching them and from just the act of teaching the art form. It's really kind of reinvigorated my interest in what I do. So yeah. Okay. And what are some of the challenges that someone who recently started dancing might have? For example, let's say that I want to start dancing, right? So what do you think are some of the challenges that I might have when I just recently started? It really depends on what type of dancing you're endeavoring
Let's go for ballet.
to do. If you were starting ballet today, I would say it's going to be really physically demanding. But you know what? That never really goes away. I always thought it would. I thought I would get older and more experienced, and my body would say, okay, this is easy now, and it doesn't work that way. So that's not unique to me. But I think that, as well as I think dance is really unique in that your body is the instrument. You are the one on display. And I think a lot of people who, especially now that I work with some adult beginners, it's really a vulnerable place to be, to walk into a studio and stand in front of a mirror and say, okay, this is me. I'm standing here in probably less clothing than I normally do. And yeah, that's challenging.
Okay.
It's a big step.
Okay. Yeah, we should make a video at some point in which you teach me how to dance ballet. That would be cool.
I would love it.
Oh yeah.
Let's do it.
That sounds fun. We already love it.
Yeah.
I can't wait for that. I mean, I might get injured along the way, but it's gonna be fun. Right. I love it. And do you think that dancing in general can contribute for you to have a happy soul?
A happy soul?
Yeah, happy soul.
Yeah, I mean, I hope so, because otherwise I'm going to be really miserable. I don't see a possibility that it wouldn't for me. I mean, I find it really difficult to jump and leap and look happy on stage without feeling somewhat happy inside. There's part of doing the act is feeling it internally, and I think your body and your emotions are really closely intertwined, and so sometimes faking it actually does make it, and you can feel joy just by moving. And it's funny, I was thinking about this today. I had a teacher growing up who at one point kind of sat us all down in class out of the blue, and he looked at us all and said, I want to go around the room and I want to ask each of you why you dance. And for some reason I was at the end, and everybody else in the room went first, and they all said things that I felt were like so profound and really thought out and very existential. And finally we got around to me, and he looked at me and was like, so why do you dance? And I was like, crap, I don't, it makes me happy. And first he laughed, and then he said that doing something that just because it makes you happy is entirely underrated, and I think that's true.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Yeah, fair enough. It's simple but deep at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's enough to just be happy because you're doing something.
There you go. And what advice could you give to those who recently started dancing? For example, let's say that I get the chance to have my first dancing performance. What advice could you tell me before going on stage?
Well, first, I hope I'm there for it.
Oh, yeah. It's gonna be hilarious.
It'll be awesome. I guess I think, at least in the ballet world, there is definitely a lot of messaging that might make people believe that there's not space in this industry and there's not opportunity. And I think the more experience I have, the more I believe that's not the case at all. I think that that's the scarcity mentality kind of has to be left at the door. And when you're truly curious about something and you're doing something because you love it and you work hard because you love it, you can carve space for yourself in any industry or any job setting. And so I think there's actually an enormous amount of opportunity in the dance world.
Okay.
I wish I knew that as a child.
Okay. Wow. I mean, if you have gave me that advice for going on stage, I feel already ready to go.
Good.
Okay. That's really cool. And besides dancing, which you do it super awesomely badass, amazing. I mean, I could go all night because it is, you're super cool. You also do yoga, but tell me, how did you discover it?
So I started yoga. Well, to be honest, yoga's always kind of been integrated into the dance programs that I've done over the years. It's always been like, oh, you'll do like an hour of yoga on the weekend, or you have to take 1 credit of yoga in college. But then when I graduated from college, I was injured again. This is a recurring theme. I was injured again. And I was kind of scrambling, and I was like, okay, I need to find a job, but it needs to be a job that I'm not going to be on my feet too much. And I'd prefer it not to be something that just kind of makes me want to tear my hair out. And I saw a posting for a yoga studio that was looking for people to work at the desk. And I took the job. I was like, this sounds nice. And they offered free classes as like a side benefit. And I just fell in love. It was what I needed at the right time, I think.
Okay. And from your personal experience, what are some of the benefits of doing yoga?
Oh, gosh. Well, there's so many. I think I tell my clients a lot that there's the benefits of doing yoga are the same as doing any movement practice. You're going to feel deeper connection with your body. You're going to feel, connection with your breath. You might increase your strength and mobility, but it's really, I think yoga is a unique container and a new unique way, environment for people. And it really opens doorways for a lot of people who have not had a movement practice before. I know for me, when I started practicing, I really needed a space where it was okay to actually listen to your body and say, hey, I can't do this right now, I was injured. Yoga was a space where I could say, okay, what am I actually feeling in my body? Is this something I can do right now? And that's not something that, unfortunately, that is not something that is often taught in dance settings. And so I think for me, that's what the space that yoga creates rather than the actual asana poses is probably what I think is most unique and special for your day-to-day practitioner.
Okay. All right. And if you could describe your career at the moment, in a movie, TV show, book, or even a play, why not? What would be the title of it?
Oh, I'm gonna have to go with a movie title that's already been taken. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Something's got to give. Because I'm just, I feel like I'm always chipping away at something, and something is gonna give eventually. Suddenly,
oh, yeah.
my career is just gonna happen, but I don't know when.
I love it. And if you could describe your career again, but now on a drink, which one would you choose?
A drink. I'm gonna have to go with red wine, because I get better with time.
All right, maybe one. Yeah, okay, I love it. Maybe one day we should make an episode with drinks.
I'm all there. It's 8 p.m. so.
I love it. That is super cool. And what motivates you? We all have those days. I'm actually going into one of those days too, in which you just feel unsure. You just feel either if you should continue or not. If you should continue the path that you are creating, or if you should back up for a while and just stop it, or that it feels that it's kind of a waste of time. Like, what gets you out of all of those toxic thoughts? I mean, I could go all night by saying toxic thoughts, but what gets you out of those?
Yeah.
Just continue pursuing what you love the most.
I think always coming back to the why. Right now, I think a big part of that is my students knowing that, okay, if I just get out of bed and I just make it to class again, and I just get in front of the class and I teach again, I'm going to have an impact. And I think a lot of what my why was as a child has not really changed. Like what my career has ended up looking like is a lot different than what I expected. But I think about, I had a different teacher who actually asked us to write a one-page essay about why we dance and similar exercise. And I think at that time I wrote something about the feeling I have when I dance, and how when I'm on stage it feels like time is moving super slow, and I could be there forever and everything else is tuned out, and at the same time moves really quickly, and it's this weird special space that only that kind of moving meditation feeling only happens on stage, and that is enough for me to want to do this every day. And that feeling of focus and internal awareness is enough to be okay, I'm gonna show up again and again every day for the rest of my life to do this. And if I just remember that, I can usually get out of bed.
I love that too. And my last question here, Kathleen, is what are some of the things that you expect for this year?
Oh, a lot depends on this pandemic. With everything that's going on, I'm really trying to narrow my focus in on my personal business. I just recently started this wellness center. I have a new space in Brooklyn where I'm offering private yoga, and so that's kind of where I'm channeling my energy. I'm trying to put more content out there online, which is a big exercise in looking for that motivation again for me. And I towards the beginning of the pandemic, I spent a little time in Ohio, and I got my massage license there. So I'm currently working on trying to get that transferred out here so I can have a license in New York, and hopefully add massage into my practice and help more people.
I love it. I mean, you just deserve that. I need to basically give you 1 second. I can just drop the mic for you. So.
Oh, okay.
Good job. It is really cool what you do. It is amazing. I mean, the fact that you want to help people, that is really cool, and I think that is very kind, and that is something that we need right now in this world, especially how things go, and how crazy this past few years have been. The fact that you are trying your best to just to help people here. That is really cool. And I think that is something that that is something that everybody should know about. That there's people out there who are willing to help each other and who are willing to actually care about getting someone feeling much better, you know. And the fact that you're doing it, that is really cool. I'm super sure that eventually I'm super sure that eventually business is gonna be like, you know, on top of everything. and
We hope.
yeah, because one of the things that I do tend to believe is that whenever you are doing something by heart and it's honest, then eventually good things come. You know, of course that it's a very strange and awful road sometimes, but at the end of the day, the fact that you are making it happen, I mean, that already talked enough that you are actually doing it, you know. So yeah, that's amazing. Keep doing what you do. It is super cool here. And also, I want to thank those who are watching this right now. I mean, thank you so much. Also, if you're watching this later on Instagram, thank you so much as well. Make sure that you follow me, Kathleen, in all social media. Normally, what I would say is super simple. So you're gonna put pause, then leave a like, subscribe, follow, and it helps me a lot. And I do appreciate that a lot. And then after that, you're gonna follow Kathleen. You're gonna leave a million likes. I mean, let's make sure everybody knows about her dancing career, and also about her yoga and every business she has. Let's make sure that everybody knows about it, and then come back. And Kathleen, before I send you off, I need to send you properly for someone as talented, also amazing as you. So,
Thank you.
hey, you go. So, what else can I say? It's amazing what you do. Keep pushing it. I'll see you next one.
Thank you so much.
All right. Yeah,
Good to talk
thank
to
you as well. Bye.
Have a good night.
One. Yeah.
Bye.
You too.